Only in Las Vegas, it's not an uncommon sight to see someone climbing out of a manhole in the middle of a bustling intersection. It's the kind of thing you'd only witness in Vegas. But this, too, is part of the complex reality of the world-renowned city, famous for its glitzy casinos, vibrant neon lights, and non-stop nightlife. Behind this dazzling facade, however, lies a darker side that remains hidden from most tourists. Beyond the glitter of Sin City, there's a harsh contrast: thousands of individuals caught in the grip of poverty, forced to live on the streets. According to the most recent local government report, the homeless population in Las Vegas has surged to nearly 8,000, reflecting a startling 20% rise from the previous year. This alarming statistic sheds light on a truth often overlooked. While Vegas is seen as a place where fortunes are made or lost on casino floors, it's also a city where countless dreams have been shattered. Many of those without shelter, living under the constant glow of the city's lights, are trapped in cycles of mental health issues and substance abuse. Just a short distance from the opulence of the Strip, the brutal reality of street life unfolds, far removed from the joy and thrills inside the city's luxury hotels. This is the hidden side of homelessness in Las Vegas. Homelessness in Las Vegas is an escalating crisis, influenced by a complex web of factors. By 2022, more than 5,600 individuals were reported to be homeless in the city, with over half lacking any form of permanent shelter. One of the key drivers of this crisis is the soaring cost of housing, which has vastly outpaced the average income of many residents. For every 100 low-income renters in Las Vegas, only 14 affordable housing units are available. This severe shortage forces many people to spend over 30% of their income on rent, creating a significant financial burden that can quickly lead to homelessness. Mental health issues and addiction are also major contributors to homelessness. Many people living on the streets battle substance abuse and the lasting effects of childhood trauma, making it difficult to break free from their circumstances. Research shows that nearly 2/3 of the homeless population in Las Vegas became homeless due to unemployment. This group tends to face lower risks of mental health and addiction problems. However, individuals who lost their homes due to eviction or family conflicts are more likely to experience higher rates of addiction and mental health disorders. The COVID-19 pandemic further worsened the homelessness crisis, with a marked increase in the number of people living without shelter. The end of eviction moratoriums, combined with the ongoing shortage of affordable housing, left many families displaced with nowhere to turn. While local authorities have been working to address the issue, the persistent housing crisis continues to push more people into homelessness, underscoring the urgency of this growing problem. In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, near places like Catholic Charities, the number of homeless individuals seeking refuge grows daily. Many gather, hoping for a spot in emergency shelters, but their hopes are often dashed as the shelters fill up long before everyone can be accommodated. The long, exhausting wait outside has become a mentally draining routine for many, showing just how precarious life on the streets can be. The harsh desert climate of Las Vegas only adds to the challenges. In the summer, temperatures regularly climb above 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius, turning the streets into an unforgiving furnace. During the winter, the cold desert nights pose an equally dangerous threat to those sleeping outdoors. The extreme heat of the day and the biting cold of the night create significant health and safety risks, leaving the homeless population constantly battling the elements. Beyond the city streets, some of the homeless seek shelter in a highly unusual and hazardous place: underground, in the flood-controlled tunnels beneath the city. These individuals, often called the mole people, are some of the most marginalized by society: the homeless, the addicted, and those trying to escape the dangers of life on the surface. It's estimated that around 1,500 people live in these tunnels, which stretch for hundreds of miles beneath the neon glow of the casinos. Originally built to control flash floods during rare heavy rains, the tunnels usually remain dry, offering a form of shelter for those with nowhere else to go. For the mole people, survival underground is a daily struggle, with dangers that those on the surface seldom consider. The most immediate threat is sudden flooding, which can sweep through the tunnels in minutes, drowning anyone who fails to escape in time. Additionally, the unsanitary conditions foster the spread of disease and infection, while violence is a constant risk. Despite these hazards, many find living in the tunnels preferable to the streets above, where they face frequent police raids and conflicts with other homeless individuals. Yet even in the isolation of the tunnels, there is still some connection to the outside world. Charitable organizations like Shine a Light make regular efforts to reach the tunnel residents, providing support and resources to help them break free from the cycles of poverty and addiction. The mole people themselves often emerge from the tunnels at night, scavenging for food and supplies while trying to remain unnoticed by the bustling city above. For many, life underground offers a brief respite from the brutal reality of street life, though it comes with its own set of dangers and uncertainties. Homelessness is not just a physical battle, it's also a fight against the stigma and discrimination that follow those living on the streets. Negative public perceptions often compound their struggles, pushing them further into the margins of society. Many view the homeless as a burden or even a threat, without understanding the complex, often heartbreaking circumstances that led them to this life. This harsh judgment makes it even more difficult for the homeless to access job opportunities or receive the basic respect and dignity that all people deserve. To survive, many homeless individuals must resort to any means they can to make money. Some rely on panhandling, collecting recyclables, or taking on informal jobs. Yet even in these desperate efforts, they often fall prey to unscrupulous individuals who exploit their vulnerability. They become easy targets for violence, harassment, and exploitation, with some even becoming victims of human trafficking. In this dangerous underworld, many are forced into illegal labor or endure physical abuse, trapped by their dire circumstances. Health issues are another overwhelming challenge for the homeless population. Take the story of Carl Graves, shared by ReviewJournal.com. When Graves and his roommate could no longer afford their Las Vegas apartment, the weight of his situation became unbearable. Graves, who suffers from bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and epilepsy, overdosed on dozens of pills in a desperate attempt to manage his mental illness. He was rushed to the hospital, and after recovering, found himself back on the streets. His story is far too common in a city where instability often worsens existing health issues. Living on the streets without access to proper hygiene or nutrition makes the homeless more vulnerable to chronic diseases such as tuberculosis, skin infections, and respiratory illnesses. Many also suffer from untreated mental health conditions like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, which only intensify under the constant stress and trauma of street life. Without stable housing, regular meals, or adequate medical care, their physical and mental health deteriorates rapidly, creating a nearly impossible cycle to break. Access to healthcare is extremely limited for the homeless. Most do not have health insurance or reliable transportation, forcing them to rely on emergency rooms as their primary source of medical care. While the expansion of Medicaid in Nevada in 2014 provided some relief, many homeless individuals still depend on emergency services for basic health needs. Local surveys show that 40.2% of homeless people rely on emergency rooms as their main access to healthcare. This dependence not only fails to provide the comprehensive care they need but also places a significant strain on the healthcare system and taxpayers, as the high costs of emergency visits stretch resources thin. This creates a cycle of health issues that are difficult to break, as a lack of preventive care leads to more severe and expensive medical crises in the future. Homelessness in Las Vegas significantly impacts the community and the city's infrastructure. The growing number of homeless individuals leads to various social challenges, including increased crime, disorder, and a decline in the city's overall image. Public spaces are often filled with people in need, disrupting the comfort of both residents and tourists. Additionally, homelessness places a heavy burden on the healthcare system and emergency services, leading to high costs for the government and taxpayers. The Las Vegas government, alongside numerous non-profit organizations, is working to tackle homelessness through initiatives aimed at improving access to healthcare, education, and job training. Programs like the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center offer integrated services, including temporary housing and medical assistance. Other shelters, such as the Las Vegas Rescue Mission and the Shade Tree, provide accommodation and recovery programs. However, challenges such as limited funding, shelter capacity, and transportation access hinder the effectiveness of these efforts. Social stigma and the lack of identification documents further complicate homeless individuals' ability to access services, making homelessness a persistent issue in Las Vegas. The sight of tattered tents and faces full of despair serves as a stark reminder that not everyone in this city is playing with the same hand. The contrast between luxury and hardship highlights the growing social divide in the heart of this entertainment capital.